Hello, my name is Matthias. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully this will be rather beneficial to you. Who cares what people hope? See, people say so many random words, like hopefully this thing. Did you actually need to hear me say, hopefully this will be beneficial to you? It was a useless word. That's lesson number 1 today. All right, on to part 2. How to turn life into a game. How to go from being motivated to play Skyrim for 8 hours a day to being motivated to level up your real life character, play life for 8 hours a day, and work out and stick to your diet and learn a language if that's what you're into, and do whatever tasks you want to do, all the self-improvement stuff that everyone does. Oh, I keep a journal, I take cold showers, I do this and that. It's like all these daily habits which you've tried and failed, because keeping these up as daily habits is just exhausting and melting of the mind. And so you have this enormous self-improvement sphere on YouTube that says, oh, here's how to do it. You need your Pomodoro, and you need your schedule, and you're this and that. And there's so many videos and so much information out there, and you just binge it and watch it over and over and over again, and maybe it'll help you, and no, not really. What we've all been doing for years in the self-improvement YouTube, just eating self-improvement content, is like when you go to play a game, okay, and you don't actually play the game. You go into the code and you collect all of the weapons and all of the spells, and you just have them here, and you're just like holding them, like if you're playing a tabletop RPG, like D&D. So it's not a screen or anything. So you say you have cards that represent all the weapons and the spells. You don't have to in a TTRPG, but say you do. You have the weapon. It says it's a battle axe, or this is the fireball spell, or whatever. So you have these, and you're just collecting all of the spells, and that's like collecting all of these self-improvement strategies that are out there in the world. It's like, oh, here's your Pomodoro. It's like, well, that's your one spell. And like, here's the cold showers. Well, that's a battle axe. So you're collecting all of these different tasks, all of these different assets and abilities and weapons to like fight the enemy, defeat procrastination, live life. You collect them, but because you're not playing the game, you don't know what the game is. You don't even know there is a game half the time. You definitely don't know how to play it. You don't know the rules. You don't know what the game of life is and how to play it. Then you're just collecting all these things, and you're like, oh, look, I'm getting so powerful. It's like, no, not unless you're actually playing the game. You don't get to use any of those things and feel powerful. You're just it's just another form of escapism. It's thinking, well, one day I'll use this. Oh, look, I'm powerful. I have 20 battle axes. It's like, no, if you're not playing the game, nothing that you've collected matters. So in this video, or this series rather, you are going to get to learn how to play the game of life. And this is low budget, low quality, low production, no script. Eventually, after this is just out, and I just get it out and put it on YouTube, and people ask questions, then I can go back again and make a more refined series with a script and cool background and lighting and all the whatever stuff that's nice on YouTube. For now, we're just getting it out there. We're just vomiting it. So, with that enormous 3-minute intro out of the way, assuming you watched the last one, the goal, take whatever makes a game motivating and put it into, apologies, take whatever makes a game motivating and put it into life. So life is motivating. And last time you learned that is the 3 pillars of freedom, power, and status. That's what makes the game fun. That's what makes any part of life fun. So you take that and you put it into life. Okay, how? How do I just get freedom, power, and status? Well, here's one thing. If you want to travel the world, if you're like, oh yeah, I always wanted to travel. I want to go to Asia, or go on a cruise, or go to the Caribbean or Caribbean, whatever. Then that is a desire for freedom. You want freedom. You want to possess freedom. If you're like, oh yeah, I'd love to get a big house or a whole lot of friends, or I'd like to get a YouTube channel. I want to be popular. Like what a family that you want to have, or a certain number of friends. That is status. You want to be known for something. You want people to respect you and regard you and love you and all that. You want relationships with people. And if you want power, that can be, well, essentially money. Whenever you want money, you want power. And so that shows right there your desire for freedom, power, and status. And so we all know that we want that, but the problem is that the freedom, power, and status, the money and the people and the exploration that you can get in Skyrim, for example, we're using games as examples, and Skyrim is the one I have a lot of experience with. The 3 pillars in that game are so much more attractive than trying to go out and earn those 3 pillars in real life. That's the problem. So how do we make real life just as attractive as the game? And one is, well, if you don't have a game, then you're going to default to getting it in real life. And that is somewhat true. Yes, if you're playing Skyrim all day, you're not going to have any motivation to go out and get it in real life. So you eventually need to tone that down or cut it out. And definitely during a so-called dopamine detox, you definitely want to cut it out to reset your mind to be motivated to new stuff. But that's neither here nor there nor in between. It's like down the street. You want freedom, power, and status, but the one in the game is so much easier to get and so much more high octane, and so the one in real life doesn't look as good because the game is so easy. So you need to cut out the game eventually, but then you're looking at, well, I know even if I stop playing Skyrim for a month or 2 or a year, that's not necessarily going to motivate me to put in all the effort that it takes to earn a bunch of money and get a bunch of power. Like, I can spend a couple hours and get 10,000 gold in Skyrim. That'll take me years and years and years to earn $10,000 in real life, to extra 10,000 cash. And so even if I stop playing Skyrim, it's just so difficult. And I know how easy it could be to trick myself into believing I'm rich and getting power. And so the motivation to get it in real life just can't come because I know how easily I could pretend to get it. And part of that is true. Also, the fact that if you had never played Skyrim, you still wouldn't be motivated to go out and get freedom, power, and status in real life. So just just stop playing the game, that's not enough. Right. I've been teasing you kind of this whole time, showing, hinting that I'm going to answer this question. I will eventually, but not now, not in this video. We're going to move on and get to something else, whatever the notes say. 7 minutes already, wow. All right, you want to play life as a game. Before you do, you need to understand one small thing. In Skyrim, for example, you aren't just collecting the 3 pillars of freedom, power, and status. You are using them. You're expressing them. It's not like a vacuum just absorbing it. Like if you went out and collected every single sword and collected every single spell and all the shouts, but you didn't use any of them, it wouldn't be very fun. You wouldn't feel powerful. Just collecting something isn't enough. If you bought all of the horses in the game and you put in the console commands to make every location in the game discovered so you can fast travel to it. You have all the freedom. You can go anywhere you want at any time. You have the best horse in the game and all that. But you never actually traveled, it wouldn't feel very good. The ability to use a pillar, to use your freedom or power or status, like if, same thing applies to status. If you have the ability to use something and you just collected it, you have it in your hand, but you don't actually use it, you aren't expressing it, spending it, utilizing it, then it doesn't matter. It's useless. So, in real life, it's the same way. If you want to, travel the world, travel to Europe or something, just for the sake of saying that you have done it, oh, I traveled, and you just want to possess that memory, possess that accomplishment. If you want to work out just because you want to possess that body and be like, oh yeah, I have the thing, I collected it. I have, I learned a language. I collected all these languages. I collected this body. I collected these workouts. I collected these skills. I collected it. If you just play a life of collection, it's going to feel very empty. It's not going to be motivating. That is why it never motivated me, and it's never going to motivate you sufficiently. You're like, oh yeah, I would love to collect it. You go out and lift some weights, and you're like, oh, never mind, it's too much work. Because the desire for collection is not strong enough to actually motivate people. There has to be a desire for expression, for using what you have collected. It's yin and yang. Yin, it's the black part, the absorbing, taking in. It is the feminine aspect of reality and of yourself. It's the collecting and absorbing. But you have to have the yang, the white part. That is the expressing, the actually using something, creating something, generating. It has to be a creative effort and a generative effort. It cannot simply be, I have collected all these experiences and languages and things. I collected all this money. It can't be that. It's not going to be motivating enough. You have to be your yin yang. So It's okay to collect as long as you are expressing. And you always have that goal to express and a purpose to, oh, I have to do this thing with what I collect. Like, instead of saying, oh, I want to work out just so I can have my muscles. No. I want to work out so that I can have the muscles to accomplish this task. I want to be, fit and do a backflip when I'm 90. It's like, okay, there's a task you can go for. Here's an expression, although that's a very minor expression and not the best example. It's, if you want to be able to, like if you're a soldier, you want to be strong. Why? So that you can protect, your wife and kids and your people and your country. There's a reason for it. You aren't just learning how to shoot and learning tactics and getting strong just so you can have it. It's for a purpose. So in real life, if you want to level up yourself and level up your character, there has to be a narrative. There has to be a goal. Why are you doing this? Not just to collect it. And in narrative, we will get to the Jordan Peterson self-authoring, which is a requirement for you to do to actually play this game of life. We're at the 11-minute mark. We're going to end it here and go to the next video. See you there. Thanks for watching, by the way. Feed the algorithm, like and comment and subscribe and all.